Hey guys, this is Mrs. Harbin, and this is Algebra 1. We are starting Chapter 5, all about functions and relations, and we're going to start with 5.1 about coordinates and points. Our biblical correlation for this unit comes from Hebrews 3, 12 through 14, which says, "See to it, brothers, that none of you has a sinful, unbelieving heart that turns away from the living God, but encourage one another daily." We've come to share in the gospel, being confident in the hope that we have. And we want to make sure that you are confident not only in your salvation, but also in your math skills, in your gifts, and in your abilities. And so we want to continue to encourage one another so that you can increase your confidence in math, as well as in other areas that you have skills and talents. Our lesson objective for today is that you, the student, will graph and state the coordinates of points in the Cartesian coordinate plane and create scatter plots for use in analyzing relationships. So we are going to do three things today. We are going to graph coordinates, we're going to state the coordinates of points, and we're going to create a scatter plot. And we'll use that to analyze relationships between two different things. Let's start with a quick lesson opener. Let's graph the following points on a horizontal number line. Well, we've been doing this all year, so you already know that's not very horizontal, sorry, but that is our horizontal number line. Hopefully you remember that 0 is our origin, so we would graph that right there. And to actually graph it on the number line, we just put a point on the number line. So that's the 0. The -5, you should know, would be somewhere down here. Not very exact. And the 3.5 might be somewhere around here. Okay, we could add other number lines in there or number marks. We could put, a mark every 1, 2, 3, 4 if we wanted to, and mark out numbers. So there's lots of different ways we could graph that. But those numbers have been graphed on a horizontal number line. And here you see a much better horizontal number line than the one I just drew. All right, what about these two? How would we graph these on a vertical number line? Remember, vertical is up and down. If we were to draw a vertical number line, our 0, our origin, would be here in the middle, and positive numbers would go up, negative numbers would go down. That makes sense if you think about it like an elevator. When you go up, the floor numbers increase, and when you go down, the floor numbers decrease. Graphing 2 and -4/3 on the number line, we have 2 up here at the top, and we have -4/3 down here at the bottom. There we go. Let's go over some definitions. An ordered pair is a pair of numbers, x and y coordinates, describing a point in the Cartesian coordinate plane. The Cartesian coordinate plane is just a combination of the x-axis, or the horizontal number line, and the y-axis, which is the vertical number line that we just saw. We just overlap those two things. The Cartesian plane was created by French mathematician René Descartes, and it allowed him to graph things in two-dimensional space, not just left and right, and not just up and down, but a combination of left and right or up and down. The two symbols in an ordered pair are called coordinates. Now, the Cartesian plane is divided into 4 sections. The perpendicular number lines divide the Cartesian plane into these 4 sections, and they are called quadrants. So if we take a look at our Cartesian plane again, you'll see that we have our horizontal number line, which we're going to call our x-axis, and our vertical number line, our y-axis, and that we have 4 separate quadrants. Remember that quad just means 4. Quadrilateral is a 4-sided shape. Quadrants, 4-sided, or 4 pieces in this Cartesian plane. And they are numbered starting from the upper left-hand corner. That's because in this upper left-hand corner, our x-axis is positive. This is the positive horizontal number line, and this is the positive vertical number line. So everything in this quadrant 1 is positive. And a lot of times when we're graphing relationships, we're dealing primarily with 2 positive numbers. So this is where a lot of our graphs will occur in this first quadrant. We're then going to rotate counterclockwise here, and you can see this is Roman numeral 2, so quadrant 2. And then we move to quadrant 3 and end up in quadrant 4. Just a reminder, if the x-axis is positive on this side, it is negative on this side. And if the y-axis is positive up here, then it's going to be negative down here. So don't forget that when you are plotting your points. The x-axis is also called the horizontal number line, and the y-axis is the vertical number line. If you're having a hard time remembering which one is which, just remember x comes before y, and H in horizontal comes before V in vertical. So X is horizontal, Y is vertical. Both of those are in alphabetical order. The origin, 0, 0, is the point where the axes intersect. Whenever we want to plot a point, we're always going to start at the origin. Origin just means beginning, right? So we're always going to start right at the beginning. In the Cartesian plane, the horizontal distance, x, always comes first, and the vertical distance, y, comes second. Again, think of it in alphabetical order. X comes before y, so we're going to go and plot our x first and then our y. Horizontal comes alphabetically before vertical, so we're going to move horizontally before we move vertically. An ordered pair with unknown coordinates is usually expressed as x, y. If we don't know the specific points, we would express it just like that, x, y. The x-coordinate is also called the abscissa, and it is the first coordinate in an ordered pair. It comes first, like we just said. And the y-coordinate, called the ordinate, is the second coordinate of an ordered pair. Take a look again. Abscissa comes first alphabetically before ordinate. Just like x comes before y and horizontal comes before vertical. So you'll see that pattern kind of repeated several times there. And that's not a pattern that's created in nature that God created. That's just a pattern that happens with the words that we gave these things. So it's more of a memory trick than a mathematical pattern. So to plot points, start at the origin and then move horizontally and then vertically. So if we're trying to plot 2, 1, we would notice that both of these are positive. Positive 2, positive 1. That tells me I'm going to move right 2 and up 1. And at the intersection of the lines on that grid, I will put my point. So let's take a look at what that looks like. Right 2, up 1, and there is my coordinate 2, 1. Negative 3, 4 means I'm going to the left 3, and then positive 4 means up 4. Let's see what that looks like. Left 3, up 4, and there's negative 3, 4. 0, negative 5, that means I'm not going to move horizontally at all. My x is 0, I'm just going to go down 5. So starting at the origin, all I do is go down 5, that's 0, negative 5. Going back to this really quickly, I want to point something out. Let's take a look at each of the quadrants that these are in. 2, 1, you can see both of these are positive. They are in quadrant 1. When our x is negative and our y is positive, this point is in quadrant 2. What about this point? What quadrant is it in? Well, hopefully you said it's not in a quadrant. It's on a line. When a point is on a line, we call that an intercept. I'll see if I can write that out here. I'm not always very good at writing with my mouse, but this is called an intercept. Specifically, it's a y-intercept. And a y-intercept just means it's on the y-axis. So this point is not in a quadrant, it is a y-intercept. When plotting points, x and y, the first thing we want to do is move x units right or left from the origin. Positive numbers move us to the right, and negative numbers move us to the left, just like on the horizontal number line that we've been using all year. From that position, once we've moved left or right, we're then going to move y units up or down. If our y point is positive, we'll move up, and if our y point is negative, we'll move down. Again, just like we've been doing on number lines this year. We'll then graph the point. When you graph a point, you just put a dot on the point and label it with the coordinates like you saw in the previous slide. Let's find the ordinate now of each point. Here, we're given points and we have to label, or we have to name the coordinates. That should say coordinates, not ordinate. All right, so point D. Where is point D? Here it is. So the first thing that we want to do is start at the origin, and in order to get to that point, how many left or right do I need to go? I need to go left 1 and down 2. How would I write that numerically? Hopefully you said -1, -2. What quadrant is it in? Well, starting up the upper left here, if this is 1, counterclockwise is 2, so this one must be 3. D is in quadrant 3, when both of my values are negative. All right, E is at -3, +5, and is in quadrant 2. And F is 4, 0. It's over 4, but it's not up or down any, and it's right on the line, so it's not a quadrant. Do you know what this is called? Hopefully you remembered intercept, and specifically, it is an x-intercept because it is on the x-axis, so it is an intercept. A scatter plot is a graph on a Cartesian plane that summarizes the relationship between two sets of numbers. So this is our last task for today. Let's go ahead and make a scatter plot. When making a scatter plot, we want to adjust the scale of the axes and their intersection to fit the data. We're not going to start at 0, 1, 2, 3 if we're, say, measuring temperatures during the summer. If we did, our graph would have to be pretty big. We're then going to plot the ordered pairs after we've adjusted the axes. So let's take a look at this graph. You'll notice that my graph doesn't actually start at an origin of 0. My first point here is 57. Okay, typically there's a 0 there, and then there's like a little break to show that we're not starting right at 0. Okay, our height in inches goes along the bottom here, the x-axis, and our weight, our y-axis in pounds, goes up. And you can see that there are several heights and weights graphed on this particular coordinate plane. It's called a scatter plot. Shouldn't be too difficult here because it looks like the points are scattered. Okay, they're just scattered on that graph, kind of. In general, we can see from this graph that as height increases, so does the weight. Okay, if we were to follow this graph here, you can see as we go up in height, our weight also goes up. For the most part, that's true. We've got this one little point down here that's a little odd. But for the most part, as height goes up, so does our weight. This is the relationship that we're showing with our scatter plot. The graph rises from the left, so it starts down low on the left, and it rises to the right. It goes from left to right. All right, today we did these things. We graphed and stated the coordinates of points in the Cartesian coordinate plane. We also created scatter plots for use in analyzing relationships, which is what you saw just before, where we analyzed the relationship between height and weight. Don't forget a couple of important things, like the x-axis is the horizontal axis, the y-axis is the vertical axis. I am trying to write on the slide, but I've lost my mouse. There we go. The x-axis is horizontal, the y-axis is vertical. Don't forget, moving to the right on the x-axis is positive, and moving to the left is negative. Moving up in the y-axis is positive, and down on the y-axis is negative. The point of intersection of these two axes is called the origin. And our Cartesian plane is divided into 4 sections, which we call quadrants. And the first quadrant is in the upper right. Moving clockwise, we have quadrant 2, 3, and 4. So in addition to these 3 things that we did today, don't forget this other important information. If you guys have any questions, be sure to write those down and ask me next class.